Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of the 20 something podcast. I'm so excited to talk today. As you can tell, the scenery is a little different. Normally, I sit in a little grassy patch near my house, but today I'm at the beach because I just went for a 5K run. Starting off my Saturday, very nice. I woke up and I read a little bit of my book, and I've just been re-inviting myself to do all of the things that I know I love and that make me feel super good. And lately, okay, yeah, my last episode, I want to talk about that. Sorry, I look a little crazy, but my last episode, I think I did a full 180. In my last episode, I was feeling very overwhelmed and very burnt out. And this week, it's like a complete change. I feel so different and I feel so much more invigorated and excited about life. And I think it's really interesting to see just how much changes in such a short amount of time. And that's the beauty of emotions and that's the beauty of life. It's you kind of just go through the waves of emotions and things that happen in your life. And some of them are going to feel really good. Some of them aren't, but I think it makes the times that feel really good feel even that much better when you also have lows, because nothing in life is perfect. And it would be great, to feel great all the time, but that's just not the reality. We can't really control how we feel or a lot of factors in our life. But I wanted to talk this week about hobbies because I think that has a big part of why I've been feeling so much more alive and so much more excited about life and reinvigorated with passion. And I think I really just re-tapped into hobbies or am finding ways to still make time for them. I realized I kind of started this new job and I was working so much and it was very black and white with me. I think during the work week, I was like, the only thing I can do is go to work and then maybe go to the gym sometimes during the week if I have time, and it'll have to be at nighttime because I work during the day. But yesterday I went rock climbing with this active group that is around near my house, and I went rock climbing and it was so fun. And it made me realize that, like, if I have something scheduled during the week after work, it kind of gives me a reason to set intentional time to clock off. Because during the work week, what my issue was is I would not really have anything planned. And then so a lot of the days I'd be working overtime. And I was like, I have nothing planned, so I guess I just have to work overtime. And then I would work overtime and I'd be working till like 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight. And then I would go to bed and wake up and do it all over again. And I was just really in this routine that felt very draining. But now I'm like, if I have something scheduled, whether that's an actual plan where I like put money into it and I have to show up, otherwise I lose money, or if it's just scheduling something with my friends, it's kind of a motivating factor of, oh, I have to clock off, because I have to meet up with my friends or I have to go to this rock climbing event or whatever the activity is. And so yesterday I went rock climbing and it was genuinely so fun. I didn't meet new friends because I've been a part of this active group for a little bit, but I really solidified, I think, friendships with the people that were there, and that was super fulfilling. Because we went rock climbing, there was also bouldering, and bouldering is so hard but so exciting. And there was also slacklining, and I tried that for a little bit. And I feel like if I gave myself a handful of hours or weeks to kind of just focus in on slacklining, I could be really good at it. But it is very difficult. But the moral of that story is just I was really able to connect with new people. And we even signed up at the end of the rock climbing event to do this program where we can go 4 more times for such a discounted rate within 60 days. And so we decided to do it. And we all paid it. And we were all like, okay, we'll meet up on these certain Sundays throughout the next couple months and go rock climbing together. We can make a day out of it. We can get coffee. We can go for a run. We can go to the beach. That it just reminded me that community is so important in my life. And I think the way you get to build community is by actually getting out and doing things. And so during the work weeks, I would kind of shut myself off to that, and I would be like, oh, I can only work and go to the gym, which are all solo activities because I work from home or in the office. Um, and it's like a different, like obviously in the office I see coworkers, but it's a different kind of vibe because you're still working, so you can't really connect with them in the way you want to. And then when I go to the gym, I'm by myself. And so having more intentional time for hobbies, specifically hobbies that engage me with my community, I realize that really invigorates me and makes me feel super connected. Because when you find something you love and you do it with a group of people through a organization, a club, or whatever it is, these people are already very like-minded to yourself and they have a lot of the same interests as you. And I think that makes becoming friends with them so much easier because you already have this thing in common. And so these girls that I became friends with, we met initially through run clubs, and so we already have running in common. One of them's doing a marathon very soon, which is exciting, and it's inspiring because, as I said, I just went for a 5K run today, and it's inspiring because it makes me, more motivated to go for a run and to get out there and pursue my running goals. So it's like the idea that your tribe really affects your vibe, and your tribe becomes your vibe. And the way to make your tribe make your life feel more full and bring you towards your aspirational identity of what you want to embody and who you want to be is by putting yourself in the environments that inspire you and that bring you closer towards the life you want to live. And so yesterday really reminded me of that. And that was kind of my introduction to this conversation about hobbies. But I want to elaborate on it a little more because hobbies are the shit. I love hobbies. And I think to start this conversation, we need to go way back to childhood, to middle school, to high school, because I think when you're so young, you kind of get put into these boxes. And they're all conditional. They're all societal. It's just the way you're conditioned. It's the way that your environment trains you to have certain identities and beliefs about yourself. And so when I was younger, my mom, she tried to put me in like different sports, but I was like so young and I like really wasn't getting the hang of it. But then she tried theater and I did theater, musical theater for so many years. I did it from age 6 to I think 16. So that's like 10 years of my life. And I think with that, I always thought of myself as through this lens of, oh, I can only do things that are more artsy and not so much more physical or outside of my range of comfortability. Because when you grow up only doing a certain set of activities, you start to adopt the identity that that's who you are and that's what you can do. And anything else is not who you are. And it really falls outside of your range of comfortability. And for me, a lot of things that were very athletic, I became very apathetic to. I did not want to engage in anything athletic. And I think it honestly might stem from just me being in so many different athletic things when I was like really young and me not being good at it. And then finding musical theater and that stuck for so many years. So I kind of conditioned my brain to be like, oh, just athletic things aren't for you, Aaron. You're more of an artsy person. You're more of a musical theater, theatrical, like maybe improv, maybe musicals and plays and stand-up comedy. Maybe that's more your vibe. And that can be true. But I think once you establish this identity for yourself that is based off so much that happens to you when you're younger, you don't really ever question anything else. You're kind of very comfortable with this is who I am and this is what I like, this is what I don't like. And you lose that curiosity that you have when you're a kid of just questioning other things of, oh, could I like this again? I haven't tried it in a while. Let me try it again. Or, oh, why do I do this? Is it because I actually like it? Or is it just because I'm good at it? Or Is it just because I've been trained to believe that this is what I'm supposed to do? And I think also for me, just being queer, that also played a role into sports and being athletic because you don't really see, I feel like the way sports are established in American society are very masculine, but like not the like healthy masculine, a very toxic masculinity where it's like hyper masculine and it's very kind of cutthroat and not very inviting. It's like if you're not at a certain level, then you don't belong there. And I think that also just being queer and identifying as more feminine, I thought that spaces that were traditionally very masculine and that had a lot of heterosexual men in them weren't for me because I would be judged. They wouldn't like me. I remember in middle school, we did PE and we would have different sports sections. And so the way that it would work is there'd be a team captain and they would choose people. We'd all be sitting on the bleachers and the team captain would choose people from the bleachers on who they want to be on the team. And there was like four different team captains so that we can like be competitive and play against different teams. And I would always consistently be the last person chosen. And I think that really, I internalized that a lot and I really let it impact my identity and the way I viewed myself. And I was like, oh, other people also believe that I am not very good at different sports. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them for not choosing me because I think sports are competitive in nature and that's the beauty of it. And so I didn't have much to add to the team in terms of skill. And so I don't blame them. I'm not at the point in my life anymore where I'm blaming other people for the things that I'm still processing and learning to unlearn, or not unlearn because it's impossible to unlearn, but to relearn. Um, I'm not blaming anyone. I think I take accountability for myself and who I am, but I think at a young age, you're very impressionable, and that kind of stuck with me all these years. Then it trained me to not think of myself as an athlete, not think of myself in a more, yeah, athletic way. And so I got to this point where running, I feel like in my mind, I viewed as more neutral territory. It's not hyper masculine. I feel like it's more of an accepting community. And so there was this run club that started near where I live, and my friend is the one that told me about it. So she was like, "Oh, we should go to this run club." And I think I was very inclined to just give it a try, give it a shot because one, my friend was doing it, so that already eased some of my qualms I would have had with it. But two, running felt more digestible. And especially when they were positioning the club, they said that it's open to all levels of runners, especially like beginners. You can walk if you want. And it felt very inviting and accepting. And so I was like, you know what? Let me give it a try. And so I went to my first meet and I remember being so nervous. I actually went to my first run club meetup alone because my friend who told me about it wasn't available for the first time. And so I went alone and I remember it being such a beautiful day, similar to my day yesterday, just because I was getting outside. It was early in the morning. We all went for a run by the beach and I made so many new friends and I just felt so connected and inspired by the people I was around. And a lot of other people were like me where they don't run, they haven't run in the past, and they were just trying something new, and it felt like a very uplifting community and a very inspiring community. And so I went to that first run club and I really loved it. The runner's high lasted more than a couple hours. It lasted like weeks and weeks and weeks just because I never felt that sort of acceptance and warm embrace from physical based activity in my life almost. I think I've had such a negative perception of anything physical because of my upbringing and because of earlier traumas and memories that I have of it. And so I remember just being in the moment and being like, wow, this is amazing. I feel super seen. I feel super connected with these people. And this is something that really inspires me and makes me feel alive and makes me feel fulfilled. And so I kept going. And then I would go honestly every single week for a good handful of months. And I made so many more friends and I got a lot better at running and I started to run outside of Run Club. And I think that experience of me going to Run Club and trying something new opened the door to so many other athletic arenas in my life that I previously was like, oh, I can't do that. That's not who I am. I'm not athletic. And it made me be curious again and kind of question, oh, is this something I could be into? And so this all happened in 2024. And I think 2024 is my favorite year yet, just because I really started to question a lot of things and why I believe certain things or why I act in certain ways. And I think when you start to really look inward and become more introspective, you learn so much about yourself and so much about how a lot of your identity and a lot of your thought patterns and a lot of the things that you hold super true to yourself aren't even your original thoughts. They're things that you've been conditioned and just reinforced to believe, so much so that you hold them as true and you hold them as your own thoughts. And this applies to so many sectors of yourself and of life. And for me, this episode is about hobbies, but I think for me, I let myself know that, oh, I'm only good at XYZ and therefore the rest is, not something I can partake in. And then I did Run Club and I was like, wow, this feels great. Let me try other things. And so I tried surfing. I've only gone surfing 3 times, so I can't be too confident about talking about how this is a new hobby in my life. But I do want to surf more because surfing makes me feel super good. It is super tricky, but I was able to get up on a board for 5 seconds around and stand. And that honestly felt amazing. And so that has been a new addition that's been fun and something I want to pursue more. And other athletic arenas too, just going to the gym. I started like lifting weights and doing more calisthenics and rock climbing now. I think is super fun to me. And I'm just inspired. And I think it's like a snowball effect of once you try something new that you said and thought that you couldn't do, and you start to realize you really love it, and makes you just want to try more and more things and broaden your horizons. And I think hobbies in general, trying a new hobby and just seeing if you like it is one of the best ways to grow and to change as a human. Because if you're not trying anything new and if you're not questioning your beliefs or your hobbies or who you are and your identity, you're never going to grow. You're just going to live in this bubble that's very comfortable and you feel very like secure in who you are. But it's not going to be a very fulfilling life because you're not actually allowing yourself to take in the world. It's a very like black and white, closed door sort of mentality. And yeah. So this whole conversation is just about how hobbies are the shit. I love hobbies and I'm super excited to go rock climbing some more with my new friends. And I can't wait to continue running and hopefully do my half marathon this year and continue other hobbies that I want to pick up. Reading more psychology based books, playing the guitar, surfing more, so many things. And I hope this conversation inspires whoever's listening to question question yourself a little more and look a little bit more inward and really think about why you believe certain things and what identities you hold and why you hold them. Because when you really think about it, you'll learn a lot about like whether something should stay in your life or not. And you'll realize, oh, I really like truly feel like this is my identity and it feels really good and it feels really right. And then that's great. You should stick with it. But some of the things I'm sure you'll realize that you just do or believe because you're conditioned to believe so. And so it makes me kind of sad when also I see people trying things for the first time and they're like, oh, I can't do this. I'm like, it's not who I am. And I'm like, wait, but it could be who you are. I think if you're already approaching an activity from a very closed off mindset that that's not who I am, I won't be good at it, I can't do it, it's not going to be a good activity. You're not going to enjoy it because you're already conditioning yourself and preparing yourself to not like it. You have to go into it very open minded and very receptive of could I like this? This could be who I am. Let me take it in and just experience it and not go in with any judgments or not go in with any preconceived ideas about what this is going to feel like and just experience it like I know nothing about it and like I know nothing about myself and just see how it feels because then you'll really find stuff that will surprise you and how much you actually like it. And so, those are my thoughts on hobbies at age 23. I can't wait to do more hobbies and hopefully I'll like look back at this video in however many years and I'll be like, wow, my hobbies have expanded so much more, maybe changed. I don't know. But I will leave both of us to sit with these thoughts and to do more inward thinking and inward viewing in 2025. Anyways, I hope you have a great day. I'm gonna go home, make myself a smoothie, shower, make some lunch, and see a friend later. And it's gonna be a great day. And I hope you have a great one as well. Goodbye.